Call the Emergency Medical Services Committee to order. And first they will, approving the minutes from December 4th, 2022 meeting. Have this here if you want to see that. Does it have a little too? Okay. All in favor, say aye. There is no real action item for this. It's going to be open to privilege of the floor for discussion on what we think we can, what kind of EMS needs to be met by Warren County. Right now, as concerns, all towns are pretty much on their own. Some have formed districts, some haven't. So I just want to see what is your opinion of what kind of.
Oh, sorry about that. So, yeah, I think you attended that session because I had another session. Right. New York State. Okay. EMS, New York State, what is it? So I was hoping somebody would attend that and relay, kind of, give us a quick overview of what was discussed at that, particular gathering. I have no problem doing that. Give them. I think it's about what not millions of all we figured out that EMS company. We have one of the bills out. Some detail. Members. Over the. That's the first. Volunteer. Yeah. Right. This. And first, like that. Also provide services, water.
Anything said about the county able to contact with EMS? But that is not the case. Change the frequency some way that has attorney call.
There is a law to make EMS essential service like fire, the other one. It did not. It's pending, but it hasn't. It did not make it. That's why we talked about that. This has been introduced the last 2 years. That fire. Democrat Howard. Awesome. I think it made. I think it's the downstate. Or practices. Thank you. The other thing too, you asked a good question. We've gone round and round with our representatives, whether the county can form a district, but they can't charge. Is that the issue? That's what I was told. I mean, they tell us now, when I talk to Matt about it, they always come back and say, no, there's nothing to stop the county from forming a.
and charge it, because it would be sort of like the Apple district we did with the sewer. You know, if you want to belong to a countywide system, you turn a switch on and people will get billed for it. If you don't want to belong to the countywide system, you're happy with your district in your own community, you don't get billed for it. I don't know what the answer is, Robert. Do we ever nail that down?
I haven't had a piece yet.
Can we do a tax? That's the,
And that was one of the things in the law, they kind of bring it up, allow the county to create separate special taxes. That's one of the things in that bill that keeps going down.
I don't believe we have the authority to do that, to set up special tax. And we require. That's required.
but they let a town set a district and bill and charge tax. Why won't they let the county set a district and charge tax? It would make it easier for, I mean, I'm not gonna say anything easy, but it would make it more available to get a more of a workforce where everybody wouldn't compete against one another or the same talent, so to speak, if the county was in a countywide. I mean, you know, there's a lot of advantages to doing countywide. You don't need rolling stock. All the agencies already have rules. It certainly would help us improve being able to get members that would serve a county better than each individual. I mean, I'm sure it's easier in this part of the county than it is up north to get individuals who want to serve on this spot. And the pay could be different too. So I'm confused because when I talk to them, they say, oh, you can do that. So I don't know who does it, but they let the towns do it. So the towns are for me. And then the towns, several towns can join in together and have a district. But they won't have one county. It doesn't make sense. That's the way I've been told, right?
And we can contract with one.
It's the essential service. Gotta have it. Face up. Dark. Just sit here now, you know, you gotta have a dog warden. But you don't need a emergency spot. Doesn't make sense.
So that's why most say here, the county fire department, fire department.
So what now?
County can contract with an emergency rescue and first aid squad of fire department, fire company. So they'd have to be part of the fire company, like I know in my town, they once were combined. Now they're separate entities, but when the EMS and fire were combined, the county would be able to contract with the fire department. And I'm wondering, is that why? Because the fire department is considered essential service, but EMS is not.
Well, before, permits, ran, but charge you. Now they changed that. Just doesn't make sense. We can form a district at a town level, and I can join all our neighbors, and we can make a combined district, but Warren County can't do it.
Even if they could. Consolidation, north of Queensburg, is proving difficult. There were people say, not us,
Well,
change. That's the way. it
oh
was.
yeah, oh, I get it. Because you were uncertain about how it was going to end.
So, and I did meet with, the folks from Queensbury and us yesterday. One of the other issues is, getting training, especially training to some of the upper county facilities, and most people. Training was, they needed, but in some cases, mandatory. So you need to keep your, yeah, lifelong. So, and I do have folks here that might be willing to speak to this. Wait, out here. The issue of contracting for the services is one, but change the scope of this, look for the people, is the ability for the county to create community. And for those communities who say, you know, we're it's interesting, but we're all set, I can see it effective. But for those tribes that are flushed with employees, or staff members, but all many of us now have created a tax system. And those folks are continuing to increase. And we're competing against each other. Right, if I go with $25 an hour and, you know, the next time goes to 25.50 or 26, and they can offer a little bit more in terms of maybe sick time and vacation, training for, whatever it might be, that gives the edge for them. And now the pendulum swings a little bit that way. Versus a county-wide system, where you have a career path. Well, you know, you have supervisory position. All different types of positions that you put together. If the cost going to be more for individual towns than it is now, maybe it's a little bit, but I got it. Believe that we can create one quality system. So that's what I would really like. If I understand really that this is just before meets a walk. I can get forward most either 4 months or like it's not going to happen. You guys are on your own. Figure it out. It's too important. It's too important for all of us to figure this and continue this stuff. Yeah, I think Madam Chair was formed. We had something with OES here. So you can update us on what the reports that we have done. Sorry, I don't have glasses on. We have one to update, give us a status report of some of the background stuff, the cost, for example, because this has been standing for over 8 years now. One, because of the initial cost. The board of supervisors thought that $1 million that was tacked on was for the positions, uniform vehicles, and all of that. But as we're looking now, we created the design district for 24 EMS. So we're 3/4 of the way there already. Just for our, so what that $1 million is not that big of a number anymore, so perhaps we can. Or we are,
So, I'm Marlene from Martin. I'm president of Queensbury EMS. I wanted to put a piece of information, as far as essential services. I think the reason why there's a big gap between, the consideration of, at least in our county, the way we have our fire and EMS set up is that a lot of the legislatures don't recognize that fire and EMS can be separate. And so I think that a lot of the legislatures, even at the state level or even federal level, assume that they're one and the same. So I think that's where that comes from. Not realizing that they should be separate and also confronted. If you even look at the fire department in New York, a lot of them have their of the same paramedics in the fire department, same with our Westfall fire rescue services. As far as Queensbury is concerned, we are running into the same issues as our warrant. We're running through any monetary assistance faster because med supplies are up, cost of training is up, getting everybody to the table and keeping members, that cost is going up. We're in an unfortunate position where our economy is not a one salary income household anymore. Everybody has to work 2-3 jobs. I myself am an attorney. I'm doing a volunteer job as president, and I also have a swim program. So like I myself, even with considerable professions, have multiple incomes because that's the world we're in. I don't envy the position that the town is in, streamline that process to make sure everybody's well cared for. That's why we're all here. We want our community cared for and cared for well, and not just sending people out there to put a Band-Aid out, but to make sure that they're responsive to as a human, all of their needs are met on every call. Our training programs and opportunities are increased specifically through Kingsbury EMS. Our deputy chief, Ashley Rivers, our chief of operations, Trina Lynn, and our CIC, Jack Tims are working really hard to make us a training center to kind of mitigate some of those costs so that way we can streamline it and make it regular so that way our members can continue to afford to keep their certification. And I know that all of our trainings are wide open, no cost to all of the services in the area. Foreign, everybody that's around, including Washington. We offer all of these services. Our goal is to be stronger together and communicate and care for our community. And the way we just heard, Favorite Rescue Squad and the Kingsbury Volunteer Rescue Squad, we learned a lot of what not to do and what to do. And the best way to ensure everybody's communication is high, all the needs are met, and that we are continuing able to operate and with that the community is there for us, we're all there. And I mean, if you guys have any questions, me specifically or our chief of operations, but we're trying to do our best to make sure that you guys, the concerns you have are being met, and you guys can justify asking for that $1 million or whatever is needed to make sure that an essential service that still to why it's not, it's ridiculous. And to be able to have these conversations, to have the confidence in those conversations with the client.
I like that, Ed. So like she was saying, we did merge together two EMS. Oh, I'm sorry, Shane Arn, Chief Operations for Kingsbury EMS. We over the past year and a half, we did merge together with the rescue squad to help provide area. Since then, we learned a lot. I had meetings with Colony EMS, Clifton Park EMS, to see how they did stuff with their operations, to see what we do and stuff. And they pretty much told me two things, make it a people first organization and have good strong leadership and stuff. So we've been a transparent agency since we merged together. The town of Kingsbury's been on board with us. We've been doing. We have officers. The good thing that we have two stations. We have a deputy chief police station, two lieutenants police stations, and these officers, they do a lot of work, and they're still getting paid the same as a regular paramedic or an EMT because they love the working environment that we have. We have 100 people in our organization. We have pretty much 50 volunteers, 50 paid staff. We don't have an issue. It's just because how our organization is. In a Warren County-based EMS system, I don't know what would help because if that gets implemented, and I've seen it at other states. I'm actually two of the agencies that's coming out to help us with Blue Festival is Penn EMS and Finger Lakes EMS. One of the guys that used to run Finger Lakes, he's in a Warren County star. He's in the county-based system out there. I talked to him more about the county system. He goes, if it hurts you, it helps you. Some counties can benefit this county-based system, but other places he's heard and seen that if what happens is, yes, if you increase the pay, okay, you're going to be paid $2 more than Joe Schmo EMS. So these EMS providers, they work more than one EMS agency to make a living. So now you pay this person more money, one agency. Now you're pulling them from two different agencies. So now you're really going to hurt that agency organization. So you're going to pull in people to work for you and stuff, drain the local agencies in general, just so they can make more money and make it, stuff. I'm not saying that we as a whole, like the Warren County EMS agencies that we have right now, can't make this agency. It's going to yes, there's more money. The biggest thing is medications have gone up 50% big time. And there's some issues with them, with the medications out there because it seems like all of a sudden these medications you have to change because they expired. All of a sudden the pharmacy said, oh, you know what? Those are good for another 6 months. You're good. Okay, they're good for another year. But yet they're still increasing the prices of medication. Prime example, Narcan is phenomenally high. But yet you have different counties are getting out for free. We're hurting to get this medication for emergency calls. But yet there's a town, I think in Vermont, that gets a vending machine to get Narcan for free. It's like, what's going on? I mean, I think there's a bigger picture, a bigger problem and stuff. It's the cost of stuff. The whole thing is to help essential service things. And it hurts everybody. and stuff. Granted, I'm glad that we are good we are, but who knows how long that's gonna last, but what we've learned as a team and stuff is how we can better ourselves and help the community. What she said about the training, it's open to anybody, everybody. We have people from Kentucky Fire come up no training center. We're pretty much almost there becoming national training center, so we can actually hold EMT classes. We're holding paramedic classes now in conjunction with Elizabethtown Hospital and UVM. Our next paramedic class that starts is in the middle of January this coming year. But again, these classes are not just for our people, it's for anybody and everybody. The last EMT class we had, I had people come up, hey, I want to help the community out. Okay, where do you live? All right, I know the captain's there. Here's a number of call. Volunteer there. That's perfect. So we're not just there to help our own people. We're there to help everybody else. We have a mental health program now, a crisis team. We put that in place. We helped a bunch of our old people. We had an incident in Washington County, an accident where one of the members was distraught because of the accident. I pulled him aside. I did our training thing with them, and he's not better. So in a nutshell, I think, if we all help each other out, each agency, doesn't matter who you are, just let's get together with this team and we might be able to better ourselves, and help the rest of the community along that.
That's another good issue you think is, forming the role of the cultural piece. But the other thing too is taking care of the people who are involved in the work. They are exposed to a lot of stress over situations, and mental health is are something that needs to be addressed. It's very addressing those. Now, that's something, we've got a lot of moving parts put together. Doesn't mean it's impossible to put something. If the legislation helps, it might be better work. But if we're looking at EMS issues today, one of the changes brought up is maintaining they have worked with from a long when ordering things up. So, what it is telling you, then we go bring in that. Bring, to work. Well, I think more correctly. What about medical? Oh.
It's called QAQI, quality assurance quality. We have a QAQI team. We do 100% of all QAQI, all PCRs that come in. So, my officers, they have access to the CAD system, which is the system that the Warren County Sheriff's Communication used to put in calls. So every day I have a lot of line officer on. They go in, they document every single call. Not only that, they document what time the call came out, what time we responded, what time, and so on and so forth. So we keep track. So it's accountability, transparency. After that, they go back through and check the PCR system, make sure that, Joe Blow did his PCR for his call last night. And for some reason, if it's not in the system, they call that provider, say, listen, we got to get this done. Because, it's a business aspect that if we're not doing these PCRs, the pre-hospital care reports like we're supposed to, that's money you can miss out on insurance. The longer it takes for it to be submitted, the less chance you might get it. And on top of that too, with our team and stuff, we make sure that these PCRs get worded the appropriate way. Because if you don't word things the right way, that all the ALS2 billing, that means that you did everything, it's a cardiac arrest. You lost your back, you dumped a lot of drugs in them, you're looking at probably $2,000 insurance for that means you killed them. If the PCR does not have certain information on these things, the insurance company, what they're gonna do, they're gonna nitpick, okay, you know what? You can't because you didn't do this, whatever, it's not in there. Because if you don't write it down, you never get a type of mentality. We work every day with EMR, which is the billing company that we utilize in Queensbury. They let us know, hey, you get this done, yep, we get it done. Not to brag or anything, we're like one of the best ones that EMR has. Percentage wise, for revenue recovery, we're one of the best agents out there because we make sure that the billing gets done the right way, the PCRs get done the right way. Our systems work, and then I had other agencies asking, hey, you know, what's our QA? So we've been helping these other local agencies. This is what you got to do, you know. And it's not about us trying, you know, we want to help. So we have training opportunities with that. We have people, other agencies coming in, Washington County agencies, we help out with the stuff. That's another big issue because you look at money, you know, we want to do this thing. To get revenue recovery, PCRs and documentations got to be the right thing. And the people who are doing calls and make sure they can do it. Cool.
Right. Yeah. Budget. Hang on. To, now we will. Sorry. We can just go. You know, it's been going to go. And then when the second year, who is the second? But no, sometimes the patients will. Very important. Would you please send us a check if we belong here? Some people respond well, some people don't. So, EMR. But computer billing. Costing $3 million to provide the EMR bill. Check comes through, the check comes through, they read the Tuesday, or that's supposed to be on. I don't think that, well, that's a good. Anytime we get a check, sometimes people know the check to us, or goes, hey, we got this check. We either say, hey, you know, keep bringing EMR, or we pretty much turn it to the account, and then they dispose of EMR. One of the Madam Chairwoman since we last met. So we now have. Or can. category. And then you have the cross borders, but down program also has a contract with Minerva and Essex County. That goes up there, North Warren, it goes up there and helps out. So there as well. But we already have taxing districts. First started out this process, I was informed by the county attorney at the time that under article, let's say, for of consolidated district. For example, that still has five pension district, we just consolidated that with. There. So we might have, really get started. That overall structure is able to bring in. So that's
I've already answered guys. Did you that was way they're good. Albany County is one thing. Not sure if you guys know a lot with them. Some of their shortcomings is they're always up against the 50% tax cap, and they're finding that their budgets are exceeding what they can increase it up. A lot of it is, as these folks have discussed, is medications and supplies, as well as wages. They are having an issue with manpower. Their rate for an EMT in Albany County is $25 an hour. I'm not sure that's above anybody around at this point. And theirs for paramedics, they were $35 to $40 an hour. Is what they're paying in Albany County. They do not cover the entire county. It's kind of a buy-in system. And they find that the more rural areas don't really buy in. Almost everybody has switched over to a paid staff agency, not volunteer. But they are finding that they're taking their ALS fly cards, that's a paramedic, and putting them into the SUV, and providing ALS that is now created a burden in their system that they did not foresee, and that is becoming harder for them to handle. So I think even though they've had this established system, they're still struggling, again, with manpower, even though they have, the time off and their retirement. Manpower is still an issue for them as well. They did speak of training. Their training is most done online, and they have a mandatory day where they make everybody sit for 6 hours. They put them they do some training. They have had to modify their program a little bit, but they cited staffing issues. And Albany County runs it out of this show. Essex County runs to the north. I'm not sure if you guys will talk about a little bit. They don't actually run ambulances. They kind of run a different system, kind of more of a staffing agency-based system. So they ask, or the agencies contact them and say, hey, I'm struggling with finding EMTs, or I'm struggling with finding paramedics. And they say, okay, we'll send you our staff. So the county doesn't do anything with ambulances. The agency runs their ambulances. The county just gives them either an EMT or an ALS provider to come. The municipality or the town or agency that's requesting it is responsible to pay the county back. The county's cost therefore is based on your vacations and all the extras that you get being a county employee. That's always rolled into the town cost. With them, they said they're pretty good on EMT. Their biggest issue is getting paramedics on board, so they're having a staff position. They did not relay how much an hour that they would pay. Their operating costs are about 1.2 million annually, with revenue being between 300,000 and 400,000. Their budget costs are about $800,000 for their per operating pool. That's to establish this as a beautiful way to show you the costs, what they're up against, and it's working out. What's the, I mean, the rates that they pay for Medicare, Medicaid anymore, are they anywhere near what it costs you to run with, you know, and stuff? So that's a better. I wrote Joe Graham, and wrote Schumer one time for Orange, probably, and one, never got a response. It's always gonna be an issue, so you're actually operating at loss. You're operating at 50% loss, correct? Your business.
Realistically, I don't know the numbers.
Well, if you're only, if it's costing $3 million, you're only getting 1.2, you're operating $1.8 million loss, right, John?
Well, those figures, you know, were actually, you know, were closer to 3. But I'm just throwing out because I don't have, I got last year.
No, but I mean, if it,
Yeah, well, 50%.
so we're, this ambulance service is operating at 50% loss. That's, you know, that's, somebody's gonna do something, and you can't, each town can't absorb a 50% loss on their town. Be out of business. A business can't lose 50%. But that's what I hear, basically, even the Essex County was given a $6 million grant. They're the ones who told me we couldn't work with this. They told me that, not last December, December 4. They were ones, when I brought that up, that are AATVP, you can't work with it. I said, well, you can't work with it. I said, well, what did you guys do? They got $6 million from the state on a grant program to run it the way they're running it. So, you know, it's a big problem with it. The whole thing's a big problem. I mean, even if we have a district and they come back to us every year and say to the town board or whoever, we lost 50%. You can't put that on the taxpayer every year. I'm sorry, you know. Anybody, you can't do that. So the system is broken. It needs to be fixed from a bigger level. The reason why I advocate for a county, it's a big county. And there's a lot of, you know, I think you can lower the rate if everybody will pay, but then you get back into the territory. Like, I could be a lakefront community and I don't want to pay for the have now. And that's what that happens all the time, you know. So, but even you know, listening, I mean, I'm happy, and you guys seem to be doing very, very well. You got it under control. But you're right, your train crosses crazy. They're going to run the volunteer fire service out your cliff. If you hold on your hat when you find out all of a sudden these volunteer fire departments are full, people can't do it. And the system's broken and needs to be addressed from the state level. And you know what you said about the PCR and all that. That's exactly what we heard when we ended up having when we ended up selling the nursing home. When a for-profit organization came, they looked at some of the way we were doing. They said, oh, you know, they did it for every band. It should you're that. You know, I follow what you're saying. You're
So, like Ashley said, even like Walton County, their county system losing over 57%. So I can't back do it together, you know, but with the training with the fire companies, we actually provide services for the local fire companies to train. So we're helping with training. We have West Falls Fire and Baywatch Fire online, and North Queensbury Fire is going to be signing on to do trainings with us. So we're trying to help everybody else.
Revenue return is probably one of the biggest problems for EMS. We could speak, I mean, we've already hit manpower and training and just getting people. I think this stays forward trying to do that. But I think some of the biggest problem is the revenue recovery. And I think the Medicare and Medicaid cost of return does not equal out. And speaking on my history with EMS and looking into billing, we can run a call at $900 and you're getting $80 back. And that's not effective. And that's nothing that the local level or, I mean, like the agencies themselves can fix. So I'm not sure if there's something on your guys' level that you can hit on with the states or in your lane. It is federal. I think it's got to start somewhere. And I think, if you can get that revenue number a little bit closer to that budget, we're in a different ballgame. And then to speak on the manpower, one of the biggest changes I think that we've seen with manpower is who's paying for this class. Is EMT class for right? They're running about over 1,000, it's $1,200. When you used to volunteer, the agencies paid for yourself. Now people are paying out of pocket, and it's not feasible for them. So we're trying to you got to find a way to encourage or help or assist them to take these courses, to get those party providers to get people in this. So that's something else to also look at while you guys are looking at.
Can I just add to that, real quick? Who requires the courses? State of New York. Who walked away from paying for it? State of New York. You can't even buy a workbook for any essentials of firemanship now. The workbooks like that. It used to be, they'd give it to you when you took it. I took it a long time ago, But now, all of a sudden you get a bill, you gotta buy a new book. About every 3 years, they change volume 6, volume 7. That book's like $160. Now we pay, obviously, for our mountain. We're gonna be happy with somebody pays. But that's what's wrong. The state has passed the cost around to the volunteer organizations. They make nothing of it. I did tell Jackie Bray that she didn't explain that. She needed to take a hard look at the cost because they have all these white papers. And I don't mean to go on this, but I read all these white papers. Not one time do they ever address the cost to the organization. What's the cost of the organization? They put in all these things, they want to help you, right? As volunteers. They have press releases, we're gonna do this. Well, try to figure out what they're doing with it and try to figure out if it's gonna benefit you. This last one with the property tax. Well, I did the $200 I get off my exit tax for a voucher, being a voucher fireman, and then I took the property tax thing, I multiplied it out. It doesn't even come close to the $200, at least in Orangeburg, and none of our volunteers. But, it sounded good, it was a good press release, and I called Matt, I said, what? And then they split it, so you get one or the other. I mean, there's a lot of things, but the cost, that you guys bore, and, doing a training center, that's terrific. Because it's been a struggle to get anybody to train these folks up with. And you guys, I applaud you for doing that, thinking out of that. I'm a volunteer fireman, but I see the problem.
Sounds small. The state reimbursed for the training. They don't do that anymore.
It takes a while, sometimes you have to 85%, 80%.
They reimburse 80% when you complete a series of methods.
No.
The agencies are plus, obviously the budgets are getting stricter and stricter, and training is one that's going to and they're not investing in people. If you don't pass the class, you don't pass the exam, if you don't meet all of the criteria, you don't. And if you do get the money back, which I think is still, it's better than nothing, but you don't see the full reason.
I submitted forms to them 6 months ago, 3 people, I still do 7.
Well, then you have volunteers services and we're asking volunteers all the time to say, ask the form of people. Before you're not with some about all this, you got to do it your state's way or you're not going to do anything. And but to Kevin's point, bringing in revenue and expecting this type of service that is providing for your residents, never going to break even. You're always going to lose. But again, what responsible community would not offer EMS services to their residents? And for Queensbury and large part of Warren County, it's our business. So, I mean, Queensbury jumped 30,000 people who live here, to hundreds of thousands of people, you know, the Great Escape and everything else that we have to
Oh, absolutely.
so, I mean, so.
That's why it's special.
And I don't get complaints about people and what they're, have to pay for taxes, we try and keep it reasonable, they try and keep it reasonable. Yes, it's going up. And yes, there's more gate service, but again, to be credited to the Canadian Mass, they have a good, healthy supply of here. Matter of fact, they.
Yeah, put a cap on it as of tonight, we get cap on it. Just- Again, more people, more money, more uniforms, you know, so we're trying to help offset the cost too, our end. We still have several applications for police officers. We go every month, we month to month.
That's a big drop off in the world. Other residents try to pretty far to go to work, they're not folks who can't. Short of anybody who's actually. Big problems. And even on county level, I don't think that can be fixed. These are people, if you don't have them.
That's valuable for one month. Treasury says value for 1 month.
If you say be the cost associated with that. I don't think you're.
Or partition of the way.
You're not knocking on $3 million.
Like on small town. It's tough. We were added, we have a different assessed valuation. Less population. But what happens is, our bill is about 600,000. Well, I think we're going to big town here, population, like the 400,000. Case two, we have to look at the statistics. You might have 154, you might have 104. We're paying a lot more. So even county-wide, and I mean, everything that's going on. I mean, we have a great crew, great team. So it's been working out well, but it's prices. Supplies, give us time to move them. And everybody wants to know what I'm jump around 50 cents an hour. Yeah, but we were pretty lucky, but it was long time. Big,
It doesn't look like anything county-wide, really the solution, because quite a few things, it's not gonna help the city volunteers. It's not gonna help tax back the budget. And we won't be able to raise it and see, what can we as a county do? What do we do? Take the training maybe?
well, just for somebody, again, Queensbury, it doesn't mean all of the other. I think the systems are working, I mean, credit to the people that are within it. But it's getting harder and harder to provide that quality service on a daily basis. I don't know what the foundation, cost is across the town for EMS. 400,000, 300,000, 400,000, starting out across the town. If there was a commitment to that much money, what type of system could we have? If there was a mention of fly club, I think a paramedic, the ability to have a paramedic loan the county, I think there's some value in that. Those $5,000 I can speak about volunteer systems moving to a paid cooperative system.
Do we have to play cards in our district?
We don't have a job. But that's even at that, is that something the county could look at? I think there would be options. Instead of saying, well, we're kind of stuck and where we are. One option would be leave it the way it is. They're all on their own. Second option certainly could be the county got interest in creating a county-wide EMS. For those communities who are interested in doing it. Third option could be the county has some interest in providing paramedics
in this type of environment. And I'm sure there's more and more on it. But just sitting back and come back a year from now, 2 years from now, we're gonna be talking about the same thing. We're going in circles. And it's supposed to be going up. You know, we brought up earlier. People that get checks from the insurance company. Right? We got that together. And I tell them all, relax. We don't get it back from you. They want to send the whole thing. Give them a note next time you give us a call, you're on the list every night. You can't do that, but, you know, gotta do something with these people, especially if they can't afford it, they don't. That check means a lot to them. So, but it's becoming, more and more people hear about it, more and more. And just to throw all over the board, I know, I understand where it's coming from, but if an ambulance service was in place in Warren County, you will defeat the members, like, these are 3 of my guys, 2 guys and 1 gal works for these are awesome. So if you put a Warren County system in place, they're like, hey, there's more money, not only I'm gonna lose 3 people, he will lose 3 people, and it's gonna be a ripple effect, you know, and those people also work for themselves, you know. I mean, there's gotta be an option out there, you know, I mean, they're not, I think, in my opinion, you know, how I've been doing this for almost 25, 26 years now. It might deplete the system, and that's only been depleted. But yes, I think something should be done, but I think putting the hormones in, you're gonna take people from these agencies, you know, oh yeah, more money, you know, insurance. My insurance, I went through the net, it's not the network, I call somebody. So, marketplace. So for me, my wife will coverage $300 a month. You know, and that's why I tell my guys too, your insurance, call the marketplace. You have to deal with 6 months worth of other calls, people trying to get you, but you can get full coverage on your own. That's a lot cheaper. I'll say one more thing. Kind of why, what we could do, is off the top of my head. Every EMS squad, put in what they want. Yeah, that up, and give them all 10% of it. A number that you just budget. Every time we get 10%, help out, down. Just use that as a number. So, 40,000, $40,000, great amount of money. County has one number to pay. One, that, but county help the squad.
There, maybe. Help them so that everyone sends the form for training or whatever they
Something
want.
like that. 5 to 10%, 20%, whatever the number that you come up with. So right into a budget from the county. That will help us all. Keep in mind that one reason why we're also administratively. For the more costly something. So very like put out there before the idea of just.
Yeah, at least for each one.
They got their own, so that squad still pays and independent, so. But
Me, people.
also, so. I think between both agencies, 100, 45, almost 40. And then that's overestimated.
Westland Falls.
No, that's total Western Falls and the Kingsbury system and stuff. That's what they're also over a little bit, just 4,500, 4,000 involved inches.
And then it's a, it's a 10-minute run to the hospital. In our area, it's an hour and a half. Oh. A lot of difference.
One other thing with us too, we get a call to help out the rent. Not about that. How we have one trying to get another one. $400,000 on one.
Our last one's 35.
Take where the manpower rate or now. Staff in this area to staff. So some of the things here, like, and, some of the, you're talking about response times going down to the hour, moving that area of coverage. We have one extra ambulance in the area that can go up though and grab another call. So I think what you guys are kind of touching on is a supplementary service that will entire county system. And outside of that, if an agency gets to a point where it's not sustaining as it needs to, maybe the county, an already established county system, and then swoop in and assist them and slowly take over that area. But I think whatever you guys choose or whatever direction you guys go, just go ahead and slow and you don't want to estimate it where. Just, yeah.
Think for you. RFP. So sometimes you feel come in, they assess, they look at all the facts and figures. As to how you could improve efficiency going forward. Look at the following. The professionals who just the county perhaps to bring in people who are experts in the field and assess the situation. Big structure and all the fine. My point is, see, we're next year and talking about the same concept. Why you bring in the professionals to understand the bigger picture? Help give us some kind of guidance. We're going to continue spinning our wheels.
That's been open.
Yeah. But who's going to put together the RFP? I don't want to put any more load on our emergency personnel, because I know we're loaded up now. So I wanted to make sure that when you put it on somebody else, it's loaded up.
Keep it volunteer.
All right.
As long as we're into the finishing select.
Yeah, so we'll have
And who pays for it? Yeah. And that's below. So I guess in summary, the made the motion. The seconded by my. That we'll have to look into the development of an RFP. On RFQ, whole instructions that is first. We're trying to bring in professionals to assess the situation. We'll look at efficiency.
Okay, fair enough.
Uh,
Favor, say aye.